Noise.
Gotta get
All right, everybody
TJ's
ready?
Gotta get TJ's Felicia figure in there. Hold on, I got it. We're good.
You are like obsessed with that.
I mean, there's a reason that we like this stuff. So
Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't taking naps at all during the marathon.
I
I'm
was.
sure.
Clean that room.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
All right, we're good. I think.
He was doing his own cleaning with white vinegar.
All right,
All
that's
right.
one too many.
Ew.
I'm gonna start instituting that rule. One too many.
Welcome, Internet, to episode 105 of the Megavision Show. It's going to be a little bit off the rails. We're not doing any of that news you so desire. Who cares about that Nintendo Direct State of Plays D23? Nobody needs that crap. You're here for the real stuff. Corey already has a question. Do you have a question?
No, I was ready for it. That's what I was saying. I wanted to.
Okay. Great. Fantastic. So that's right. You guessed it. If you're watching us, great. You see, we're still obviously in Chicago where the Dreamcast 24-hour marathon happened. But if not, I'm Scotty Moe, and with me today is TJ Katsune, T-Bone, and Corey, a.k.a. Tornado Jones. And before I forget again, it never happens as often as it used to because I don't stream as much anymore. But that's right. We are in the Bone Zone! So, TJ, say hello to the people.
Hello.
T-Bone, say hello to the people.
Hola amigos, ¿cómo estás?
Corey, you too.
I hate that band.
Well, I'm sorry. They're on your iPod whether you want it or not.
I don't have an iPod. Fuck you.
When you get one, they'll be there waiting.
I'll never.
Um,
I'll die.
But
I still
yeah,
have my
so
120 gig at home.
this week we are doing a little bit of a different thing. It seems... I say that, but the Megavision show has honestly become just the aftermath of the most recent event that we've done anyway. So
That's what
maybe it's
every
different,
podcast
maybe it's
is.
not.
So-
But yeah, so what's going on? We just hosted about actually 1 week ago, roughly 1 week ago, we just did the Dreamcast 24-hour marathon at TJ's place in Chicago instead of my place in Pittsburgh. We all ransacked it, landed on our planes and whatever, and then got a minivan, the Megavision's minivan, the MV, and we decided we're going to terrorize this town because we want to raise money for the kids.
Terrorize.
And,
We went to retro stores. That's all we did.
Hell yeah. Demolished that pizza, hit up Galloping Ghost. We did some retro hunting. We hung out with TJ's mom, of whom, which I would like to quickly point out, only hugged Corey goodbye.
Did
And-
she?
Okay,
That-
for the record, she did ask if anybody else wanted hugs, and Corey was the only one who actually stepped up. So, don't hold that against
I know. Okay, so hold on. I didn't step up. She walked into me and she was like, "I want to hug you." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I
asked-
probably wasn't there for the whole hugging thing.
No, you're fine. I'm the favorite. I'm now the favorite. So
Yep. So look forward to future streams of TJ's mom and Corey. But
no,
no, no.
don't. No, nothing sinister involved. But I don't like the way that was worded. So.
Yeah.
it's on the it's
Phrasing.
in the recording. It's
Yeah.
there now. So we're gonna talk about the schedule overall, or the event overall. We might not go hour by hour, but we'll discuss like our favorite parts and some stuff that we thought was worth clipping, or maybe we forgot about, maybe we remembered after the fact. And yeah,
We'll just-
but I guess
Sorry, I wanted to say we'll talk about everything but the marathon because that was the coolest part.
Correct.
So-
Yeah. And I do want to full disclosure. Everything went relatively smooth tech wise. But in tradition with the marathon, something has to fuck up royally. This is our second time recording this show. That's the short version of I need to upgrade some things on my PC. Corey is now recording the video portion.
Technically,
I'm
not the
doing audio.
marathon's fault. So-
Well, but
Very true.
I just wanted to stick with tradition, and we did by having to redo something entirely. So, all that in mind, though, TJ, tell us how you prepped for our invasion. We'll
Oh
start
boy.
there.
About 4 days is kind of when I started, of course, cleaning the house because I was still technically unpacking stuff from like a year ago. So
I
most
bought a
things
house.
just
I know what that means. Yeah.
As a bachelor does.
yeah. So most things just got tossed down in the basement, which nobody was ever really down there, which I'm thankful for. Not that there's not much down there to really see, other than it looks like a skating rink in a way.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
nice.
Yeah, my niece actually was over, and she's like, "I could skate in here." In fact, my sister brought over some skates, and they did for a little while after I bought the
Oh
house.
dear.
We could have brought our
Mhm.
fight. We could have braked it up, man.
Yeah. Could have been doing 900s all weekend.
Right.
Yeah,
Other than that,
900. Oh,
I
oof.
was kind of rushing to figure out how we were going to place the microphones, so I ended up running to IKEA. And the strange thing is the coffee table I wanted, which had the lift that we used, they were out of stock of for nearly 3 weeks. So I was panicking, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm not going to get this!" And like 4 days
College,
before
bro.
you guys, yeah, right, before you guys showed up, like 4 days before, they were like, "Hey, it's in stock." So I had to run down and I grabbed it, put it together in about a night, which took about 4 hours. It was a pain in the ass.
They're not easy. The pistons are kind of bullshit to install,
Yep.
but I have the same one, but it's nice once you get it up and going.
Yeah, it worked well.
Nice.
I'm actually happy I ended up picking it up, and it worked well for the marathon. And then
Hmm.
aside from making sure I had like all the cables I needed, making sure the CRT TV was working, just all this stuff for the preparations of everything, and making sure that the house was nice, getting the rooms cleaned up so everybody had places to kind of stay. Which I think worked well, being that we have the
Mhm.
2 bedrooms open for people, because Corey slept here in what you see behind me. Scotty was in the other spare bedroom with the giant tails, who made an appearance during the marathon quite
I
often.
Yeah,
know
I
he's not in it right now, but there's just
Right.
huge tails that kept falling over.
I
The reason
forgot that
why,
we should have like thrown him in the background somewhere, but whatever. Unless
He's
you
here
feel
in
like going to
spirit.
get him, TJ, don't worry about it. But
No.
I'm not going to drag him in
well,
there.
he's to give people an idea. Like he's tall enough that if you honestly sat him behind you on the floor, we would still see like his eyes up.
I mean, what
It's
you
that
should
big.
do is once we're working on editing we're gonna have the marathon on YouTube, so you guys can go check that out. And he's in
Right.
the background the entire fucking time. So
Yeah, this is giant 5 foot tall Tails doll, which Scotty brought up the whole thing about maybe getting the actual like creepy Tails doll, and we
Oh
might have to
no,
have that
no,
for
banned.
I'm good.
something to think about. I did find a couple of those on Etsy, which was really tempting, but I don't think we're gonna find anything as tall as the giant Tails one that we had.
No, not at
Um,
all.
yeah, and then I kind of cleaned up the arcade a little bit. It was pretty dusty. I do have to replace one of the sticks. I found out after it was being used that the left player one stick needs to be replaced,
Hmm.
but that could be all done it whenever I get around to it.
I blame
So,
Scotty. So
Mhm.
Scotty's like, I don't think I did it. So
I think I played a whopping of 1 round on that thing.
I did. I
But,
played one as well. I'm telling you, we should have did the donation incentive, but I don't know.
right?
I mean, we had it on there
Yeah.
for bragging rights. I think it was cool, but it served its purpose as long as it did.
Yeah,
That's true.
a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
played. I think I played a few rounds on there.
Oh, we didn't. We should say what
audio
cab we're even
listeners.
talking about. Yeah, the Sonic Fighters, Sonic the Fighters, or Sonic Championship, depending on where you are. That
Mhm.
stand-up arcade cab 2-player fighting game. So that's in the background now. It's right behind us, right over there. Let me go run over and play around.
Yeah, go ahead.
What is it?
hmm
Yep. But
I'm looking at things. Where
stop! This is an audio podcast. Damn it! That's what everyone get. Whenever we do video, everyone's like, "I want to look at the video." No, do the audio. TJ.
Yeah. Other than that, things went pretty smoothly. I had the PC set up and everything. We ran into a little bit of audio issues beforehand and during, especially during one of the
OBS.
setups. But yeah, good old OBS crashing on us. We'll get to that part later on because it does show up in the stream at some point. So,
I think so. Oh yeah, when I took a nap, you guys are doing the Naomi stuff.
yep.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
mhm.
Oh, I was napping then too. So
Yeah, you both were out.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but
you
so
missed,
like we
turn the mic
all
up.
the only one not present that was there for the entire marathon is Anti-Chris. He flew in as well. And Marson was there as well for a couple of hours. So definitely worth mentioning both of their attendance, both of them attending. Anti-Chris, however, had one of his flights canceled entirely, so that pushed everything back on when we all landed
Arrived.
Thursday.
there you go.
But we're like, fuck it, let's go get some pizza, and we hit up that deep dish.
Yep.
It was good.
Oh yeah.
It was the first time I've
Pretty
always
good.
wanted. I mean, for people that don't know, I'm a very I love Chicago, even though I had never been to Chicago. It's one of those kind of situations because, like, my dad watched Chicago Blackhawks growing up. My mother is from kind of outside the Chicago area. But I went. I had the pizza. It is a perfectly fine casserole, and I think we can all agree on that. So
Yeah,
Well, don't forget
it's
the
some good stuff.
let's say, don't
It's
forget about the
heavy.
Chicago style hot dogs that we had too.
Oh
The
yeah, I
hot.
was gonna get to those too.
I'm gonna
Yeah, I
let
had the
Scotty take that.
Italian beef, delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Which
pizza was huge and great, and Marcin met up with us then, and yeah, it was like a fucking casserole for
It took
sure.
45 minutes.
yep.
45
Yeah.
minutes, and it took like what 5, maybe 7 minutes to actually eat a slice. Those suckers. Oof.
I don't know.
Had big
Scotty and
slices.
Antichrist were eating on that pizza for about a day and a half afterwards too. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, in my defense, I didn't. I only had a. We got two of them. I think. Did we get two mediums or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got two
yeah,
We
something
had
mediums.
like
a.
that.
We got the veggie, and then we also got the meat lovers. And I mean, one piece is enough. So I had the veggie, and then I was like, I have to have the meat lovers later, and that was also what she said. But so we took it with us, but I know Antichrist, and he said I think it was a day after
It could have been, yeah.
we had it, but we weren't in the marathon yet. But I remember Chris saying like, I'm gonna have some of that pizza. I was like, shit, I'm gonna have a slice too. Like he was gonna eat all of it if nobody else got in there.
I
you know?
love Chris to death, but Chris he napped a lot, but whenever he was awake, he was always like, "Hey, give me that controller." But
Yeah.
every time he woke up, he would go into the kitchen and find a bag of something and just demolish it. And I'm like, well, we're
Right.
out of. I found some white cheddar Doritos popcorn that was baller.
Oh,
and I look
that was
over,
awesome. Yeah.
Clearly.
That- Game
Clearly.
changer. I didn't find it down here. It might be up in your area kind of thing, TJ, because I look
Uh-oh.
down here. Granted, I live in the sticks, so maybe I need to go to a bigger city.
Gotta
But,
find the bag
so-
with the condescending label on it.
Yeah, well, someone blamed me for dropping popcorn on the floor. I was like, I didn't eat the rest of that.
It wasn't
I
me.
think
You
I
can't
had
blame me.
one piece and then it was gone because it
Yeah.
never left your hands or Antichrist or whatever.
It's
So-
it's some good stuff, but no,
Yeah, let's say it sounds like I'll have to find someone to like ship you guys a box or something. A little
I'll
care
pay for it.
package.
I'll pay for it. That stuff was like that. Chris looked at me, and Chris doesn't. That's technically junk food, and Chris doesn't really. He kind of stays away from the junk food. But he took a bite of, or took one of them, and he just goes, "That's good." And I was like, "That's a lot." When Chris says that about junk food, so.
Yeah. Yeah,
it was
good.
super good.
Yeah, and we after pizza, we decided we were going to go to Galloping Ghost. The original plan, I'll mention, they got delayed. Not blaming Antichrist, but it was just to give people an idea of the normal chaos we deal with. We were going to go to a retro place further away, but time eluded us. So pizza hit up the Galloping Ghost, which I got the shirt on of. One of the
I know. I
isn't it
should have
like
got
the
one.
nation's third
Same.
largest arcade or something insane. Owned by
The
Mr.
dude owns the
Monopoly.
block, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get there to Galloping Ghost. We're going to come back to that, but I wanted to say what I was, go off of what I was saying. Apparently, the owner of Galloping Ghost, and TJ can attest to this. This guy owns multiple buildings down this one road on the same side of just like Galloping Ghost Gym, Galloping Ghost Pinball House, Galloping Ghost Arcade. And I was just like, someone said that he should buy the restaurant across the street, just be Galloping Ghost Restaurant. Like,
I thought he
Well,
tried
he
to.
also-
One of
He tried to.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
There's also a Galloping Ghost car shop, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Yep.
Was that what it was?
Yeah,
Jeez.
there's a repair, and then he had the studio and the production stuff, the repro print shop. I mean,
Mhm.
there's
Oh, that was the
probably
other thing,
four
yeah.
or five buildings that Doc actually owns along that street. It's kind of crazy.
Jeez.
He's turning the
gotta
town around.
Yep.
Galloping. That's what the town's going to be called, just galloping. after
One
the end.
gallop
So,
at a time.
Yeah. But no, the
Yeah.
arcade was pretty dope. It was
Oh
pretty
my
awesome.
God.
Yeah, I liked
Oh,
it.
for
I had to
sure.
be touristy and grab a shirt. Unfortunately, there's places that are not as big, but we're getting up there in scale around the Pittsburgh area. But the pandemic shut them down, shut a lot of arcades down
Mhm.
around here. But it was still really cool and amazingly impressively organized for the space that he's working with there. And
Oh, yeah, for
we
sure.
also Marcin joined us there, and we met up with old Sega Addicts alums, Tom and Mike Kizavat, who are also local Chicagoans. What do you people call yourselves? I don't know.
Chicagoans.
Chicagoans.
Yep.
but it's not calling them out because they've mentioned this on podcasts in the past and in other lives that they both work at Stern Pinball, so they were noticing things about the pinball machines when we were over there.
Yeah, they
as
were
well.
telling us that the ones they worked on and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Tom actually used to do. He still does art and stuff for them, but he used to do before they went into full like a TV monitor type thing on the back of a pinball machine. He would do the dot matrix kind of art or dot whatever it is, like the red pixels on the black background. I forget what it's actually called, but so
the Virtual Boy style.
Oh God!
Yeah, so it's cool to hang out with them because I've talked to them for years through podcasts and stuff, but never physically met them or anything. So that was pretty neat. But yeah, there's a lot of. I think of my games I played there, I had the most unexpected fun with that armadillo racing thing that was on a trackball. So yeah,
that sounded like someone was playing. We were playing. It was right behind the Dolphin Blue. Yeah, it was right behind the Dolphin Blue cabinet, which you and I were playing because we hadn't played that. We were always wanted to, and then we just turn around. We just hear like behind us, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And it was the armadillo game. But
yeah, it sounded like a car's muffler was falling out or something.
It really
us,
did.
But it was was cool.
That was one thing that I was actually pretty impressed with the selection of games in there. Mainly one of them was a Castlevania light gun game. Like, excuse me, I had no idea this was a thing. It seemed like it was kind of off calibration, but for the time I spent with it, it was good.
Yeah, right.
If it wasn't so freaking hot in that corner that it was in, I'll probably have been there the whole entire night.
It did get a little warm in there. I mean, you got to think there's a lot of cabinets in there, and I'm surprised it's like so like ventilated and cooled how it is now. But there was just a bunch of games we got to play that we had always talked about. So we got to play the Die Hard cabinet, which was. It might have had some malfunctions mechanically going on as well, but it was still fun. I weirdly got into the game Sinistar. I got super into that game for some reason. Never played it before. Always seen. I think it's Kusanagi's like Discord icon or one of his icons is the Sinistar logo. I sat there for at least half an hour, like figuring out. I had not sat down with an arcade machine before. Like in a long time to like kind of understand how it works, and I just sat in that Sinistar one for a while. That and Afterburner Climax is dope. So.
Oh yeah, that was actually on the PlayStation 3 at one point in time. That was probably Xbox 360 as well. I had a blast with just playing it on the console.
The arcade was even better because it's so good. It's very and the speakers are right behind you.
Machine.
Yeah, the speakers are right behind you, so it's like doing the barrel rolls. It vibrates and everything. It's really cool.
Nice.
For $25 at we would sit here for 3 hours talking about all the games in there because there's so many games in there. But for $25, like especially if you were making, we only made like a couple hours out of it. You could go $25 and stay there all day. Like
I think we were only there for like a little over 2 hours, but it flew by.
Yeah. It did.
Yeah. I mean, $12.50 an hour for free play. I mean, come on, I'll take it.
Yeah. The I was looking through my phone just now to try to remember the name of that weird ass side scroller called JJ Squawkers. That was absolutely nuts and great. And I want to find. I need to look more into it. I haven't looked back at my pictures yet, but looking at them now, I realize I was like following some sort of trend I didn't mean to when I was there because. The first thing that I played was Sega Sonic with TJ and Anti-Chris, the one that was the first arcade Sonic game, I think. With but that had you playing as Sonic, Mighty the Armadillo, and Ray the Squirrel. That had a trackball you use, and then I found
also that one.
And then I also found the Quake arcade machine.
Yeah, you got me to play that, and that was. I liked it if I would have had more time. Like I liked having the joystick. What was it? A joystick and the ball?
That was a trackball. It was a trackball and then just face buttons.
That's what it was. Yeah.
I could. I can send the picture to the thing. I might like for the video version when I edit this. I might throw these pictures up there real quick so people can see because you really cannot do justice describing what a Quake arcade cabinet is. You got
a bunch of space right next to you, so you can throw it up over there. So
over here is where you can see those pictures. We'll do a slideshow.
The trackball was very sensitive. It was very sensitive.
Yeah, and it was inverted, which I could not. And yeah, but between that and the armadillo racing game was a giant trackball as well and a jump button, and that was it. Which makes sense. You're an armadillo. You're a ball. Uh,
The
but
F-Zero
yeah, that.
AX machine was down. That was
Oh yeah.
unfortunate. Because I would have been like, oh man, there's not a lot of people in here. Last time we played it was at Too Many Games like 2 years ago, and I played it a couple rounds, but then the line got super long. So I was like, so maybe next time. I'm definitely, if I'm doing a review of this trip, I'm definitely going back like to where the area TJ's at. Like that's a really nice area, and then we just go down to Chicago and enjoy that. So yeah,
I think if there is only one, and it's not even a complaint, but something Galloping Ghosts. I mean, they might have had this at one point, and maybe they're trying to build up to this. Is having like 4 to 8 racing games against each
connected.
other, because like that's the only thing Dave and Buster's has over some of these things is they'll have like 8 Daytona machines hooked up to each other.
They had
to
the
actually,
one Mario machine, but no more
Yes.
were connected to it, like the Mario Kart one.
Yeah,
I think it's just more space limitations.
That's what I mean, but that's the only thing that I would say I would love to see there. But we did, I think each of us, you mentioned T-Bone, you found a Castlevania light gun game, and
Yep.
I also saw that there was a Resident Evil light gun game that I did
Yep.
not know existed. That was one
Same
half of
here.
it was broken.
Oh yeah,
But it's
and
not a
can I
big
add
deal.
on to that? It
Mhm.
was Code Veronica flavored, so I was like, I
Yeah.
want to play this
It
so
was.
bad, but I
There
couldn't.
was a Sinistar
Pretty
machine
nuts.
right next to it, so I got to look at that the entire time I was playing Sinistar.
Yeah.
Pretty nuts. Yeah, and there were about 5 or 6 Aliens games.
Yeah, they were great. Lots of Star Wars games too, like the Pod Racer
Yeah.
game. That Pod Racer game's the Dreamcast version's a lot better. So
we played that after the night that you had already left, Corey. We came back and just played some games, and one of them was the racer game. The
Hey,
Pod
man.
Racer
Oh
thing.
yeah, I got destroyed. But
I've
then again,
completely
I think I
180'd
was
on that
half
game.
asleep.
Yeah, that's all right.
I used to hate that game, but I was playing the worst version. So
Right.
Yep, that was
But
good.
that was Galloping Ghosts. We could keep going, but for the sake of we have a question. The audience.
The final thing I wanted to say is because we didn't play the pinball. The pinball area is a separate building, and you got to pay extra for it. We didn't play it, but we got to walk around it. And that Predator pinball machine with it was a Halloween decoration, but it was the spine and the skull hanging on the side of it. That was my favorite pinball machine.
That was
they
nice,
had
for
like
sure.
Creature of the Black Lagoon with his bust like crawling out of the top of it. So they added some stuff to the machines around
Rachel's
there,
husband,
which was pretty cool. Yeah, Rachel's other love, next to her other love, Elvira. But
multiples of those.
Don't even get me started on that.
Yeah, bunch of Elviras, the Monsters thing, Addams Family stuff, all pretty cool. Universal Monsters.
But
everywhere,
Tom and Mike that's when they were telling us like, oh yeah, I remember working on this one, and I remember doing like a Christmas theme for this one. So that was really cool. That was the first time I met them, and they're really, really nice and seemed like genuine dudes.
Yep. Yeah, very cool guys. They were whenever they were on the Sega Addicts podcast, because they've just always been busy with work. They would get to the what you guys playing section. Their answer was always Power Stone 2. Our buddy come over, a couple rounds of Power Stone 2 again.
I like Tom because Tom said he listens to another podcast that Scotty and I do. So I was excited. I was like, yeah, it's our first fan I've met. So
yeah, we'll probably get him on the Static Zone sometime since he did our logo and stuff. And him and I,
that was
like
him?
I mentioned. Yeah,
I didn't know
that
was
you
him.
That.
I forgot.
I told you that.
It was a long day. So
yeah, you were everywhere else except for in that moment, I think.
Everywhere else, but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, that was cool though, meeting them and hanging out with them. I mean, I realized like we need to have Tom on because before I knew it, him and I had like been talking for 40 minutes before we had actually played anything.
Have him pick a movie, and that's how we do it. So anyway, stop plugging our other podcast. This is another podcast we do.
So. So Galloping Ghosts, we went back to TJ's, crashed for the night, woke up, did some retro hunting, and by that I mean watched Corey buy a new library of movies.
I got Rush. So. I got San Francisco Rush. I got Donkey King Country 3. And I think the rest were movies. I think that's all the games I got from that retro store. So
yeah, for on my end, I was contemplating picking up Resident Evil Code Veronica X for the PlayStation 2.
Ooh.
And I was like, yeah, I have the Dreamcast version, so I'm just going to pass on it for the time being. But I did manage to pick up a copy of, let's see if I can find it. Mega
I didn't
Man
buy
X
much.
Collection for like
Oh, okay.
$10. I was like, how the hell
That's a
they
good
let
deal.
that
That's
gem
the one
go?
on PlayStation 2, right?
Mega Man
Correct.
X.
That's a good collection. Scotty and I were kind of arguing with ourselves if we wanted to buy that in-box copy of Hydro Thunder on N64.
No, I was telling you to get it because it was a fucking steal, and I couldn't justify
It's
myself.
a $94, man. I couldn't do it.
But almost $40 cheaper than price charting was saying. So
All right, TJ, I get paid at the end of the month, so
you should grab that. I just
well,
want to play.
He has to go to the other place and get that Saturn game for Chris. So
I just want to play 4-player Hydro Thunder. Like I just feel like that would be great.
I mean, we can do that.
That would be
I
fun,
can.
yes.
I've got ways to do that.
But I don't know if there's anything other than the 4-player split screen. This is for another podcast. I don't know if there's any other differences in the N64 version of Hydro Thunder, but yeah, I bought Sega Bass Fishing the Duel or whatever the hell it's called for PS2, and I got
I did too.
I got a Good Burger DVD and I got Aladdin Diamond Edition. So
Which makes me regret it because I kind of want that Sega Bass Fishing game now too. So
2-player, the only 2-player version because Sega makes sense.
One. Sorry, I got to put it there. Yeah, there you go for you guys.
So,
there it is.
I bought 2 Sega Bass Fishing games within the last week.
Yeah, you're welcome, and I'm sorry.
No, I had a blast. They're great.
Yeah, they're fun when you got them working right. I think your stream last night, Corey, made up for the marathons like the second game. Not as great as the first. I don't know if
the Wii version controls really, really well. I will say that.
But isn't that still the first game though? That's not the second one.
Yeah, it's just the first one. I don't think the second one ever got ported.
That's weird.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. I'm not even seeing the second one ported.
You can. The good thing about it is, since it's on the Wii, you can just easily pass it off. Be like, all right, we'll play 1 player, but we'll play high score or something like that. So
yeah,
you can make a tournament out of it. So
oh, for sure.
Before we did that retro hunting though, we did hit up some Chicago dogs at Tom and Jerry's of all the named places. I don't remember what I got other than chili cheese on mine, and it was
got a Chicago dog with nacho cheese because you had it all over your hands by the end of it.
Well, it was. I remember it was chili cheese because my logic was that's like Sonic, and that was it. And I hit up that Mountain Dew Freestyle machine, which I had not experienced before. Made myself a cherry vanilla Mountain Dew, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't know Pepsi had those machines now, like Coke did.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I thought it was a Coke only thing, but lo and behold, we have that.
Yeah. Perfectly fine. I got 2 classics. I got 2 Chicago dogs with some curly fries. I had Chicago dogs in places that weren't Chicago. So when I went to Denver, there was a Chicago style restaurant, so I had one there. Sonic was running Chicago dogs for a while, so I had those.
Right.
The ones up in Chicago area are much better, so I approve. It's just a lot. So if you don't like a lot of stuff on you don't like a lot of stuff on your hot dog, if you're just like a meat and bun kind of person like my wife is, you're probably not going to like it since it's got the tomatoes, the pickles, the sports peppers, all that stuff on it. I chow down.
Mustard.
I don't like relish, and I still ate it just fine with that on there, but probably because there were 19 other things as well. So
that is true.
Yeah,
the Italian beef looked good too.
Oh, it was amazing. The only way I'm not a Chicago person, but with that, add peppers. If you ask me, that's like the only way to do it. And plus, dip it into au jus.
Oh yeah,
good stuff. It's required curly fries. Y'all can fight me on this. Curly fries are the best fries.
we had this argument at that lunch, or we had a discussion. It wasn't an argument.
Yes, yeah. But honestly, I have to say, I mean, I've eaten the crinkle cut and shoestring fries all my life. Whenever I have the option for waffle fries or curly fries, I default to one of those two. It's not even a competition at this point.
I can go with that.
But
yeah, I just wanted more
fries. Oof.
Right. I just wanted more. Like I just wish I was there longer so I could have had more meals to partake in. Because like every meal I got, I couldn't, like the 2 hot dogs and the curly fries with the drink. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a perfect lunch. But I mean, we also spent like a $50 order at Taco Bell one night. So
Yeah.
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 I mean,
I
hey,
think
you
I
can never
was.
go wrong with Taco Bell.
I think I was more satisfied with the hot dog than I was the pizza, because it's like, maybe it's because I've had Chicago pizza before, but also pizza's pizza. You know, I know what you can do with it. But the
yeah,
hot dog was like, man, this is more than I
you had
ever normally get on it.
you had a bunch of stuff
And
on there.
yeah,
Oh
so
yeah, it was a mess.
If you guys come next year, I think we're gonna have to go out for gyros and some real Italian beef. We'll hit some places in Chicago that are really good for Italian beef.
mhm.
Say less.
It works for me.
I will travel on my stomach. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Well, I was gonna say too, because it brought up the Taco Bell run. Scotty and I, we thought we were getting chased by a crotch rocket band for a little bit there, because like there was this just crew going around the town. It's not a very big town where we went to go pick up the food, and they're just going from parking lot to parking lot. And then at one point, because Scotty and I are talking shit on them the whole time, we're not saying it out loud because we're not crazy, but but then they pull up behind us, and I was like, "Oh no, Scotty, we're about to get our asses kicked."
Right.
Oh man,
If they know
somebody
doing-
queue up road rage just
Oh,
right
yeah.
now.
Well, when we
Get
were
your clubs
in
and chains ready.
when we were in line at the Taco Bell, the parking lot next, which was like stuff that was closed, like a Kohl's and a Sephora
Starbucks,
or whatever,
yeah.
and the whole fucking biker crew was over there, like, you know, probably planning their next move, or they saw us. I don't know.
Planning their next move.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know. I mean, if we weren't about to see an Akira homage, we were going to see some shit, because one of them popped a wheelie.
Yeah,
driving
they
away
popped
and
the
stuff,
front
so-
wheelie.
Nice.
And I was like, like that was cool, but I was kind of scared he was gonna biff it, but I kind of wanted to see him biff it. So
Yeah. And this area was very flat, so it was hard to miss them unless you were trying. But I described it to other people that the area we were in was like Ohio, because it was flat and there were just a lot of strip malls with a lot of stores, but at the same time, no stores somehow.
Yep.
So yeah, unless you got to hit up a department store, and the
the
high
one
class Walmart we were at.
yeah, the one retro store we went to was right next to a GameStop and like right next to a Kohl's, which T-Bone and I went in there to use the bathroom because they didn't have one in the game store.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's right next door, and they didn't say anything. It's like, hey, you have to purchase something in order to use our
Yeah,
restroom. It's
we're
like,
good.
nah, we just gonna walk in there and do our stuff.
Also, I
with it.
loved that retro store because when I was checking out, the guy was telling us, what was it that he brought up? Was it the Dreamcast? He just brought it up because of a game I was buying or something. And I was like, speaking of Dreamcast, and Scotty just pulled a flyer out of his pants and threw it on the counter.
Yeah. I forget what he was talking about with Dreamcast. I think he just said we have controllers or something, and he like led us over to them, and
showed us
didn't want to
that,
be
yeah,
assholes and be like, "Oh, sir, we have plenty of those, but do you know about this?"
Yeah,
but
check this shit out. So I
yeah.
like that store. That store there were some things that the prices
They
were a
did
little
not-
iffy.
I think
there were
overall
some-
they didn't really know what they had in a lot of scenarios. So
Well, see,
Yeah,
like with the
tends to
Hydro
happen with that
Thunder,
store.
the Hydro Thunder was like $30-$40 under price charting, but then the Harvest Moon game I wanted was $10 over price charting. So it's like it's here and there with it. So they definitely have a mentality, like they have a good idea what they're doing to keep. They're not just only video games; they're dabbling in everything. Which for a store like that to exist nowadays, you got to do that. You gotta
for sure.
you got to go into Magic and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You got to hit everything to be just sustaining. So
Yeah, one of the retro stores that I have down here, they were first a TCG, TTRPG, stuff like that, and they had a much smaller space. And then they started kind of ballooning out to more of the retro stuff. And now they're at a larger location, and they still are very much doing that. So yeah, definitely spot on with that.
yeah, it was a nightmare trying to find movies there, though.
You had to narrow in on a section and just look at every row is what I did. So
yeah,
they were all broken up into genres. You had to really search around there. Things are not organized well, but
hold on, I gotta find it. I wanna show this one off. I found a copy of Thunder Pants.
Yeah,
Thunder Pants.
Yeah. I just knocked all these over. Yeah, it's a movie, and the guy, what is it, Rupert from Harry Potter? He's not even the
Rupert
main
Weasley.
character, but they put him in the middle, and it says starring Rupert Grint from Harry Potter, Thunder Pants. He's not even Thunder Pants. So
Oh, you know how it is. You got to get a recognizable face on a B movie in order to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course,
You know how it is.
All right, I'll shut up
Yeah.
about movies now.
Don't worry, you good.
Yeah. Let's talk about the marathon. That did happen, believe it or not. We long story short, there were audio issues, but we got it going. So let's just hop in. You know, we always start with Sonic Adventure.
New
That
channel
happened.
rewards.
I'm never handing the controller to Anti-Chris again because he clearly does not know that game as well as he knows the second one. We were butting heads a little bit on which one's better. I don't give a shit what anyone thinks. I just like the first one more, and I'm gonna play Ice Cap next year. Holy fuck!
You even said get your redemption, and he was like,
I
no.
said get your redemption, and he's just launching from icicle to icicle. Not even from icicle to icicle, just wherever.
Well, from a comedic standpoint, it was better than him actually performing it. So
I guess,
Yeah.
But that was yeah, and we sucked it up in Rayman 2, and then came
dear.
TJ's favorite KO, the Kangaroo.
it sounds like it was your favorite if you watched the VOD because you got super into that final boss.
I was determined.
Yeah,
That's a
that
word.
was kind of my thing. Was like, oh, hey, how to beat this boss? Okay, I see the strategy. Now it's just time to execute.
You
Glad
gotta get
you
your
found it
redemption
because it
next
didn't
year.
make it obvious at all.
No, wait, you did it. You beat it, right? You did
I
beat
beat
it.
the last boss. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean we beat KO the Kangaroo. You know, nothing, no sweat.
We'll never report on it again.
Yes.
Yeah. That was indeed a game.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
And then right away, Rachel's like, "You're getting Tokyo Bus Guide," and like she pushed us to Tokyo Bus Guide. Thankfully,
right, donation wise, yeah. But T-Bone Doug Super Magnetic Neo. Do you want to say anything about that?
Oh yeah, that game was surprisingly very good. I remember seeing it back in the official Dreamcast magazines back when I was early teens, I want to say. And I was like, platformer's fine, whatever. I was more in like run around the streets, beating up people, street rage and what have you.
Right.
But that game, I was pretty happy to sit down and actually learn the game and play it. I need to get myself a copy. And oh my god, if anybody was to do something similar to the Super Magnetic Neo again, with how the reverse of polarities and everything, chances are very good I'll buy it. Just flat out. I enjoyed the game that much.
I don't think it's been on anything else, but I could be mistaken.
I definitely. Whenever you say it, I forget. Like I'm like, oh, that's that Dreamcast game. I always forget about it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those games where unless if somebody knows it intimately, it's just like, you take a look at the cover and just kind of like pitch it out. You wouldn't give it a second of thought.
The so the concept of it, for those unaware, you are this robot dude that looks like his head is a cereal box, but it's a magnet, and you have one button is your North Pole, one button is your South Pole, and like if you walk up to a red thing, I don't remember what the polarity colors were, but like
Blue was north, south was red.
okay. But you like walk up to a red platform and you think, oh, you don't realize at first, but you have to use that to bounce. So you have to hit the opposite color to bounce up and then, or I'm sorry, the same color to bounce off of it. And then the opposite color to maybe grab onto something above you to zip line you to another area. And you got to get into that groove because it's one hit kill kind of thing. And it is not a kid's game, even though it looks like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the things in there that I'm pretty sure if I was to read the instruction manual, it would have told me you actually have a dash button. And that dash button made a lot of things a lot easier.
Button.
Yeah, that dash button is like, how in the hell do I do this jump? And I just started hitting buttons like dashing. Oh, right, I have to do that.
Yeah.
Made the game a lot more enjoyable.
So published by Crave Entertainment, it is a Dreamcast exclusive. It was not released on any other system.
Oh, sad times.
So
grab it.
Yep.
Oh,
get it now before it goes up to $80. I mean, like, what's it going for right now?
It's $80 right now.
Before it reaches $80.
Oh, okay.
Let's see here. Yeah, right now it's actually pretty decently priced. It's about $37 complete.
Ooh, yeah, grab that.
Buy it.
Yeah.
I would definitely buy that. I need to see if my local store has it, or if anybody's going retro hunting and they see it, I will pay you back plus shipping. I need to have that game.
It's like when Scotty and I talked about Ristar, and then like 6 months later, Ristar went up like quadruple.
Oh Jesus!
But that makes even less sense because that thing's been on so many collections. Super Magnetic Neo has been on nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So
So if it starts going up in price, people are listening to us. So
Yeah,
that's fine.
Hey, we're influencing the Super Magnetic Neo fandom here.
I mean, if it follows any
you're welcome.
freaking pattern, wait for the Matt McMuscles video. That's
we
already
have
worked around
enough.
here.
We have enough pull to completely adjust the market on this game.
Mhm.
Yep.
Metal Jesus got nothing on us.
Metal
It's a
Jesus
lie.
2.
Yeah. So after that was Sonic Adventure 2.
Mhm.
Fuck it. And then we fit in Tokyo Bus Guide into that for one of the redemption hours or spots.
Mhm.
It's always
That
a good
game's always
time.
fun.
Yeah.
Always a good time.
Yeah.
There's always someone in
I think I
chat that
made it
like,
the
what is
furthest.
this?
Yeah.
That's true. But I mean, Graham's still the reigning champ there. Graham beat
Yeah,
the
this
first
is very
mission.
true.
So
Well, if you go back further years, AJ honed in on that game as well forever ago. But
AJ
Yeah,
is dead to me. So
Yeah,
that's
he
my
wasn't-
favorite part in the beginning. You said, AJ, I'm indifferent. So
yeah, because it was weird to not have Rachel or AJ and Ashley there. So I said, Rachel, I love you. Ashley, you're awesome. AJ, I'm indifferent.
Yeah.
And
It's pretty
but
good.
the,
I just edited the first the hour, so I remember that pretty vividly.
nice, yeah. But the Tokyo Bus Guide is fun. We actually got to play it on a Japanese Dreamcast that TJ has, and oddly enough, playing it on a Japanese Dreamcast rather than a burned, an ineligible disc on another one.
Sure.
We could read the menus, which made less sense to me that
'Cause
they
they
were
were in English
translated
a little
into
bit.
English on a Japanese console. I don't know, whatever, but we could see sort of where we're going for the most part in the menus.
It's actually more common than you think on Japanese games.
Really?
So, but that was fun, and then we got into the sports block. Unless anyone have anything else to say about Tokyo Bus Guide, just interrupt me if you have stuff to say before we move on to another one or whatever. But
Nah, we're good. We gotta get the show on the road anyway. So
in the sports block, we had NBA Showtime, NBA on NBC, NFL Blitz 2001, Sega Bass Fishing 2, and Razor Freestyle Scooter.
Okay, I need to step in for a second because NBA Showtime legitimately got my pits sweaty and got my blood pressure going because I don't know what happens, but every year I get one year it was Virtua Tennis, one year it was the virtual year was NFL Blitz when I was playing with Brett, and this year we play the same fucking games every year. Like I don't know what it is, but one of them I latch on to them, and NBA it was me and was it me and TJ?
Yep, it was you and
me and TJ the first time. And then I think
the Raptor.
The Raptors.
No, T-Bone, you and I played the Virtua Tennis a lot. So okay, yeah, we played the Raptors. Close games. It was super close. NBA Showtime's always a fucking good time.
It's NBA Jam 2.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Effectively, yeah.
We were on fire at one point. Like it was great. I don't have that one. I might. There's a couple games this year.
It's pretty cheap.
Yeah, I need to pick that up, and when I get we'll get a little bit closer to it, I'll talk about the other ones I've picked up. But this year, I was like, man, I need to buy some of these games before they go up. So
yeah, last time I hunted, I did find that one at Too Many Games. It was $20, so you can, and it was complete.
Yeah, I'll
take
that.
Probably still find it. Sports games are kind of all over. They're either nothing or stupid expensive. But
like if you take a look at a lot of retro stores, hey, you have Madden 2003, 2004, 2005. They're all going for like $1 a piece.
It's like, come on.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if any of the hockey games on Dreamcast are good because I haven't dabbled in any of those.
We have somehow skipped those. Time.
I
don't know.
Brought those up.
Does Sega have? Is there a 2K Sega 2K hockey game? I haven't.
There's NHL 2K. Yeah,
that might have been the only sport that didn't launch with it or something.
Yeah, I think there's 2 hockey games on the Dreamcast, I believe.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure TJ and I can give you the play-by-play on some hockey, so just a little bit.
Yeah.
But this block did have something for me that I want to grab. That stupid Razor scooting game. Whatever.
You were so mad that it was on the schedule because the whole thing with this is you're going, who put this on the schedule? And I knew what happened. You just didn't remember what happened. When we had the meeting, we were going through making the blocks, and I think you were naming off sports games, and you said Razor, Antichrist goes, put that on there. That's probably piece of shit. So
I don't know if that's gonna load, but I mistyped it first to look on
freestyle
price charting.
cooter. There you go.
Yep.
But and I finally told you that, and you were like, "Oh, that makes sense." And then we played it, and I had forgot that Continue Show had played this game, and it was
shit.
bad.
Oh yeah.
$12 complete. I'm gonna find this somehow.
Oh, no.
You know, it's one of the funny things with that whole entire section for the Razor's Freestyle Scooter is that we found the magic button, and everybody just clap your hands. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, the clap.
So
There it
excited
is.
that my
Clap.
hat fell off.
For people that don't know, it is a Tony Hawk clone, but you were
100%.
raised it. But
Right.
you were. It's not 1-to-1 either. It's very bare bones. And
I was really
Razor
bummed
scooters.
you couldn't do split screen. The 2-player was taking turns. I was super bummed about that.
Well, that's how the
But,
original Tony Hawks were, like 1 or 2. One, they were always split screen. I think the first one was. I've played one. I thought I've played one where you had to take turns.
the demo maybe, but
I think
maybe in the
in
demo.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, you had the option of going head to head at the same time, or there were certain
okay.
modes you can do that allowed you to play 2-player at one time.
Gotcha.
yeah. So, but you could play as a sock monkey. You could play as a robot,
Which we found
and
out
there was-
originated from the Illinois area. We didn't know.
Apparently.
TJ told us that.
Yep,
Right.
the sock monkey. Yep.
And you can
Um,
play as the Huntington Beach bad boy himself, Tito Ortiz.
Yeah.
which he
What?
felt for
Oh my
his,
gosh. There's so
Yeah,
much.
so many times.
There's so much real cool stuff in this game, guys. Let me
It's
tell
rocket power. It's off-brand rocket power.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Blitz was Blitz. Still, that was fine, but I think NBA took over in terms of like sports games. That was the most exciting out of that block.
Oh, yeah,
Bass
for
fishing
sure.
was a big old dud, unfortunately.
Yeah. Although
think
we
we
had
caught
some
one
good meme
fish.
moments.
I did. I
We
got
had
one.
some good. The one fish that was caught, but I do vividly remember that quite literally I had the hook inside the body of like 2 fish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one seemed
would
glitchy.
not-
It seemed broken.
Yeah,
a
I'm
little
like,
bit.
That's not in the Wii
this game
version.
hates me.
I'll just splice in some video footage of the Wii I'll put that in the VOD. I'll just replace it with
Sure.
the Wii version stream that I did last night. So.
Sounds good. Yeah, I don't think
there
it
you
was.
go.
It was weird and unfortunate because like I've streamed the first game solo, just like
I have
on,
too, and it's fun.
on a stream night. The first Dreamcast game with the rod, and it was legitimately fun. Like the chat was into it, and because it's I'm not going to compare it to Choo Choo Rocket, but it's one of the most chill and also anxiety ridden games at the same time.
RNG a little bit.
But the
Praise the
second one,
RNGs.
this was the first time I had played Bass Fishing 2, because on the Dreamcast there's Sega Bass Fishing 1, 2, and Sega Marine Fishing, which I own but have not actually sat down with. For some reason, Bass Fishing 2 is expensive, but like it was not as much fun as the first one. I don't know if
We played it because it
that
has a
one was
2-player
made
mode.
with only the console in mind, or if that one was in arcades or not. The second one, TJ could maybe speak on that, but go for number 1 if you can find it, I guess.
Yeah, I would say number 1 was the arcade version that's been released in several versions because it was on the Thomas Wave, it was on Naomi, all that stuff. Whereas the second one, I think, was console only.
Okay, interesting.
Gotcha.
Yeah, anyone have anything else about the sports block?
Nope.
Word.
Nope.
Indie block, indie time. All over the place with quality, but let me tell you, that Alice Sisters game was fun and a lot of like accidental pro moves between me and T-Bone.
Very much.
This is when I went and took a shower. So.
this was just a straight up platformer with like finding keys for doors, and you
Who's the
could see the Josh Prod. You can see the speedrunner influences in this for sure. That would be fun to find co-op speed runs of this, but yeah, there was a lot of like I just call it the Mega Man blocks because I don't know what they're actually called, where they would
the disappearing blocks,
disappearing platforms and whatever for 2 people to journey through that. So imagine that.
It's not
you both don't have the same abilities either. You don't have the same abilities. So
Very
you
strange.
you got to have one person to do one thing and then the other person to actually attack. That was what was interesting to me. I was like, oh, it's not just like a normal platformer. So
Yeah, I was playing the younger girl, and I could not attack. But as far as for manipulating things like getting smaller, getting bigger, that was on me effectively.
It's like you guys were Mario, but in 2 separate entities instead of one.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it was strange. It was jarring at first, but we figured it out how it works. It's not a super difficult game, but it was still like, what are we doing again? And I would forget. Thank God I was playing with T-Bone because he would remember what we had to do, what checkpoints don't save and whatever, because I was zoning in and out.
It seems like a good co-op stream game. So I'm glad we showed it off.
I think so. Yeah.
Take that, it takes two.
Yeah, right. the indie takes two idea. Right. After that we did Text Assist, which is a bullet hell typing game. And I think that has bit off more than it can chew because it's a cool idea, but not a lot of fun.
It looked a little frustrating. I did touch Scotty's thigh this entire part of this stream because I was helping him control on the keyboard.
Yeah, I mean, I was fine with it because I wanted to just actually play the game. Like, I felt like we couldn't. I
thought he was going to be like, I was fine with it because look at him. So...
yeah, look at me. If you like more of that, check out the Static Zone podcast. Anyway, but because it was you use the D-pad, but also you had to type things in to return attacks or whatever, or dodge stuff. So it would be like just typing in. You would be typing in what the Exorcist.
But you had to move around too.
Yeah. So I had the keyboard mainly on my lap, but Corey was using his left hand on the directional buttons, and then I was just spelling words, just typing words. So it's an accidental co-op game almost, but. Yeah, I don't know. It's a cool idea, and I'm glad I have it because it is pretty limited supply.
I'm glad it exists. I like weird things.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I'm glad it exists. I'll say that.
That was one thing I do remember about the Text Assist, where we couldn't find out how to start the game, so we had the controller plugged in, and we just kind of played through there. We actually had to spell out start. I was like,
right,
that's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like at the screen. I was honestly more impressed with how it has RPG elements because it has a out of the normal levels. You're walking around your house or church. I forget exactly. And talking to characters, and you have to type. Like you have to type the word enter to enter a door and things like that.
It's a text adventure.
It is, yeah, in the most literal sense. It is a cool idea. Maybe could have just used some more time in the oven or something. I don't know.
Well, it is available on Steam too, with some more updates that weren't on the Dreamcast one. So if people are interested in checking that out, you can get the Steam version, and it's fairly cheap too. So
yeah,
that's good to know.
We're not gonna crap on it totally. So
yeah, no, it's kudos for trying something new.
Yeah, and considering that the Dreamcast is an older console and they're working within the limitation, it was a good outing for it.
Definitely. And when I streamed it, I played it with the controller only and not the keyboard, and it worked well. But
you use the shoulder buttons to type with, if I remember correctly.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Which I could see being equally jarring because you do have to still like split your brain in half to do that.
Takes a lot of focus.
I can't though diet.
It's challenging. And then totally opposite side of the coin, Hermes. I think Corey, you were the only one that played that. Maybe
I played a little bit of this. There's the resources. There's a poo resource management, so I was all in that game. So
we wanted to show that one off because it is released on the Dreamcast. I forget the company. I apologize, but VGNY Soft has published it, and it comes with the collector's edition. They have comes with a custom VMU that says Hermes on it, and it's actually in like the old school. Well, the new VMU boxes and stuff, which is really cool. So we wanted to show that off.
I mean, it's a fun game. It's a platformer, but like a resource management too, where you can't like, because instinctively, because of Sonic and Mario and stuff, we're just like, we want to collect all the rings and we want to collect all the coins. Well, in this one, you're trying to get to the end of the level, but you want to collect enough food so you don't die from hunger. But if you collect too much food, then you poop your pants. So you got to find an outhouse. I'm not doing it justice with the defining it, but it's an interesting game. It's definitely interesting. I don't know if it's fun. So I never got it. I never got the chicken. So
chicken too fast. Chicken too
fast.
Yeah. What did it say? Chicky go fast or something?
Chicky go fast. That's my tramp stamp. Chicky go fast.
There you go.
Yeah, so it was something.
There's your podcast title.
And then the back half of the indie stuff was Xenocrisis, Flea, and Tapeworm. Xenocrisis is always a good time.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
It's always fun. We've talked about it before. We've played it before on marathons, so we've streamed it outside of marathons. So
right, yeah. Check out Xenocrisis. Shoutouts to Bitmap Bureau. Flea and Tapeworm were also good. I think I like Flea more than Tapeworm, but they're good games, puzzle games.
I was gonna say before we move away from Bitmap Bureau, I want to point out thanks for donating the 3 physical copies for us to give away. That was pretty dope.
Yep. We'll have links to their stuff if you want to check out Xenocrisis and how to get. We'll have links to all the indies for how to grab their stuff in here, because they helped us out by giving us copies, or were in some way, shape, or form told other people about it. But yeah, Flea and Tapeworm, always a good time as well. Cool, like rhythmic. Well, Tapeworms, we couldn't really hear the music as well, but you were supposed to sort of go along with it. I don't even know how to describe those games. Flea has a very much of a Super Meat Boy. Like one more try feel to it.
Flea and Tapeworm were the 2 games I immediately bought because apparently they were on sale. So I went to what was the developer's name? Low Tech
Games.
Low Tech Games. I went to their Etsy page, got both of them for $50 with shipping, which isn't physical, which isn't bad at all. I like both of those games. Flea's great, and I didn't play Tapeworm, but I watched it and kind of like understood what it was. That's really interesting too, and I love how the 2 games actually overlap with each other, and the main characters from both of them eventually like meet and interact with each other. That's cool. They're making like this insect poo world. That's awesome.
The Fleaverse.
Yeah, the dark. What is it? I can't remember it. Yeah, the Fleaverse. So I will go with that.
Good stuff. And games that need virtually no description, or maybe more so, the racing block involving Hydro Thunder. We swapped Star Wars Racer out for Sonic Shuffle. That's right, I think.
Yeah.
And we also had Demolition. Sleep. We also had Demolition Racer. We had the one and only Pen Tri-Isolon, and then Corey's flaunting his winning of the Daytona USA tournament Daytona belt. Daytona.
Yep.
The belt stays where it belongs.
Hey, sure I didn't want to take it back home because I was worried about it falling apart in my suitcase.
Everyone wanted to give me shit because they're like, "Oh, he only won because he was hosting it virtually that one year. We did it in person again because I couldn't remember if I won last year or not. So I'm defended my title this year."
I spaced out for an entire race and thought I was the other screen, and it was at that point that I realized I need to take a lap.
Yeah.
Well, Scotty did knock me out. I wasn't completely undefeated. He did knock me into the losers bracket. So technically Scotty was undefeated going into the finals. So Scotty, he also doesn't care. So
I kind of feel like I got second place. So
yeah. I'm glad we didn't have to. I'm glad that was during the time we were trying to get the food situation taken care of, and I'm glad you didn't get DQ'd. So
good stuff.
It was fun.
Pen
was always fun.
Pen Triathlon, always a good time. I think was Marson here at that time?
Yes.
I don't remember.
Yeah, Marson played Pen.
He played Pen because I faced him, and then he was there for the Sonic Shuffle as well.
He was there for Daytona too.
Oh yeah, Daytona he was there.
Okay. Yeah, Demolition Racer was also interesting, confusing and a good time and whatever. But Sonic Shuffle, I unironically enjoy parts of that game now. Of course, shout out to Nick Flair because it's always his fault. It's initially his fault that we play that game, that it's even part of the marathon. But it was made by some people who made Mario Party. It's a Mario Party Sonic, and it's not a good game, but it's grown on me, unfortunately.
I got out of playing a lot of the shit games this year.
Yep. Well, that just means you'll be hosting them next year.
Damn it. Is that what happens?
Yeah. Should have kept your mouth shut.
I call malarkey. I call malarkey.
Yeah. That doesn't work
here.
You
can call malarkey all you like, but you're doing it.
Yeah.
This is your life now.
I'm
going to have COVID. So
great. All right. Plan on that. Speaking of getting sick, we had the fighter game block next. MVC2, Project Justice, Tech Romancer, Virtua Fighter 3, Team Battle, Guilty Gear X, and Fighting Vipers 2. I played MVC2 once, and I was good to go. I'm just glad we had so many fighting fans there because I just don't give a shit about this block.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I played MVC2. And considering that I primarily play it on a PlayStation controller, and it felt kind of foreign for me, even playing on the Dreamcast arcade stick, and I think I was also using the Retro Fighter controller.
Right.
It's just
Oh
like
yeah,
it
TJ's got
felt a
the
bit
Green
foreign.
Goblin, which was pretty cool.
Say again?
TJ had for audio listeners, he actually has a Green Goblin Dreamcast fight
Mm,
stick, which is pretty awesome.
Yep.
And I forgot to
yeah,
hold up one of these
it's
guys that we were using too.
Which broke.
Yeah, that one's busted. I still haven't
yeah.
contacted them. I need
I
to
still
do
think
that.
we could, either fix it or get it replaced. So
Probably
I would.
replaced,
I need a
yeah.
new part because it did break. Like plastic broke off.
The
So
plastic, yeah, we looked at it closer. The whole plastic piece had snapped off. So like
it's
Jesus.
there's like a plastic ring that sits in there. The spring was broken off, and then the plastic part was actually
Gotcha.
got thrown off.
Well, it's been a year, so hopefully their
Yeah.
warranty lasts long. So
Yeah, agreed.
Uh,
But with a lot of the fighting games that was on there, yeah, like with Virtual Fighter 3 TB, unfortunately that wasn't a good version of it. But I mean, hey, there was a Virtual Fighter Love that was shown on the Dreamcast at least.
I think I had more fun with fighting Vipers too. I really love that whole universe, and those characters are just wacky.
yeah,
Mhm.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean
Mhm.
Josuke's in it, or Jotaro's in it, which is awesome.
Jotaro,
So
yeah. Yeah, I really wish that Sega would bring back that series, and it's a shame that we never got Fighting Vipers 2 here in the West. It's a Dreamcast exclusive and didn't even hit arcades, I don't believe.
So weird.
Dang.
Techromancer's
That's
another
nice.
fun, goofy thing.
I played that
too.
at Galloping Ghost, but the monitor was messed up.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah,
Um,
Techromancer is a very, very interesting game for sure.
It pretty
uh,
much parodies a bunch of mech fighters and
Right.
anime
Yeah.
series like
One of the characters
Evangelion and
Yeah, one of them was just Master Asia from G Gundam. I was like, all right, I'm cool with that.
And it's worth pointing out Project Justice. That's kind of a staple. That's the Rival School sequel. Another
Good game.
another ill-fated series that Capcom will probably never touch until people hate Street Fighter again. I don't
They
know.
touch them a little bit with Street Fighter V, so they know it exists.
Yeah,
Akira made an
brought
appearance.
over Akira. Yeah.
Yeah.
Project Justice, not Project Justice, Rival Schools on a PlayStation 1 and of course Arcade, you had Sakura that made an entrance in there. So it's like, hey, they know it's there and they
Yeah.
know people want it, but they're just gonna drip feed us content. Because I'll be completely honest with you, even if Project Justice, the whole entire franchise, just gets a re-release, or they say, hey, we're gonna go ahead and make a new entry into this franchise. If that happens, Capcom just can take my money just immediately.
They're already getting my money, so
Weird.
Yeah.
And then so from we briefly touched on one tournament. Up came another one, Crazy Taxi. This one was a little more calm this year, mainly
Yeah.
because Kusanagi wasn't there. Kusanagi, that was still like the highlight for me.
Oh,
that
the digital
year when
one?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
mavericked that one run, got it down to 0 seconds and whatever. But Crazy Taxi is always fun. We've got to have that in there some way,
I
shape,
believe
or
yeah.
form.
Marson won that one.
Oh, did he?
I think it
No,
was
No,
wait a
Marson.
second.
T-Bone won.
Who
No,
won it?
that was me. It was
Was
like
it
T-Bone got that one.
$20-some.
T-Bone was the first to run, and he
That's
just
right.
ran away with it.
Yeah,
I woke up about that
unfortunately,
time, so
it was unfortunate that I don't remember how to do all the crazy maneuvers and everything, or else
yeah.
if I did, it would have been a night and day difference.
I think
But
Kusanagi's
unfortunately, I
score
didn't.
that one year was like in the 4,000s, which was ridiculous.
That I think I had like 20, almost 2,800.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were around 2748 or something like that. It was some weird number I remember.
I was
Yeah.
waking up still. I did not. I was low on that tier. So
Yeah. I want to say
but
Scotty
that was always very fun.
Scotty missed it by $10 or $20, I think, or somebody did.
Yeah,
So
if I had gotten the one fair, I would have come closer.
Yeah.
But like the last fair didn't work out or something.
that's about the
I don't
time
know.
dinner was ready too. So TJ's mom made us dinner, which was awesome. So
Yeah,
never had a
those
home cooked
sh-
meal at a
stuffed shells.
marathon. Yeah, they
Mm.
were pretty good. They were super good.
TJ, if there's still some in your refrigerator, can you like send me some of that? Please?
Those
Yeah,
are
I
a
don't
week
think
old.
there's-
Throw those away.
yeah, I would say I ended up throwing those away. They were
No.
far too long. So
We'll get more.
But yeah, speaking of week old food, find plenty of that in the next game here. Ill Bleed.
Oh man, let me tell you how much Scotty's really bad about doing walkthroughs.
Fuck off. Listen, I'm gonna say my
nothing.
piece, and Brittany's gonna agree with me. Thank
Say
God
your
she was in the
piece.
chat.
Say your
Thank
piece.
God she was in the chat to personally interject and say, "Dads, please stop fighting." Because I do not. Corey is better at this game and more familiar with it than I think he thinks he is. I didn't think he needed a guide, so I'm like scrambling and trying to find one on the tablet. I got that damn thing bookmarked now. I know which guide to use, and ironically,
it's somewhere in there.
there's 3 GameFAQ guides for this game. The one that is like incomplete and like has the lowest rating or whatever is the one we were using. That was the only detailed one.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So that's probably also. I mean, I maybe it's an excuse, but that's also probably why I didn't go to that one first because I stupidly trusted
Gotcha.
GameFAQ ratings.
But
so
Scotty, I'd be like, Scotty, where are the traps? Where are the potential traps in here? He goes, there's like 3 in here. Have fun. Like, I'm just like, what? No, that's not how a walkthrough works. Like this, we didn't get. What sucks, we did it the 1 year, and I was able to get through the first mission in the first hour, which was awesome. But the main thing is that we got to the Jimmy part. So we show everybody every year. We show him Jimmy. He's down in Scotty's camera right now. For people watching the video, he's down below me.
Good shit.
No, Illbilly's always fun. It was
fun.
The first game I had to have on the Dreamcast. So
that was one of my. It's still one of my favorite games because it's still one of the most unique things out there. And it was really cool. That was one of my favorite moments because we had Marcin in the room who had never seen this game somehow. I say somehow because he's a member of Megavisions and we've streamed this game every year.
Well, Graham had never seen the end of the mission that one time until the digital event. So,
but like I was enjoying, and TJ's mom was trying to leave, but she was captivated by it, and
she's like, "What's
she was
going on?"
seeing the beginning of it.
She actually got me afterwards, and she's like, "What was that game that I was watching?" And I was like, "Oh, it's just a B horror movie.
Fuck up your brain is what it'll do."
Yeah. She's like, "I don't like horror, but that game certainly looked really interesting."
There's never been a game like You'll Bleed.
No, there hasn't.
Yeah, I mean the closest thing in terms of campiness is maybe Blue Stinger, just because it's made by the same team. But Ill Bleed was fun because we got some quality reactions and it's just a goofy good time. That that starts the witching block, if we could call it that, because then T-Bone hopped in and said, "Hold my liquid death. I'm playing Code Veronica now."
Yeah.
Y'all gave me shit about that liquid death, but we all drank it. So
I drank it to try it, and it's nothing special. It's cool they support non-plastic distribution, but it is non-carbonated. It's just straight up water in a can. So
there's that version, and then there is the sparkling version. So there's 2 different versions, and I think they're dabbling in like flavored sparkling water now. So
sorry,
death to hashtag death to plastic. I'm trying to get sponsored by Liquid Death, all right? So
do it now.
Code Veronica happened. We learned once again we should have prepped the save file, but T-Bone still like tried to.
The game was dark too, I think, like visually.
Yeah. So that's the thing with Code Veronica. Even when they was doing some runs for GDQ a few years back, is that Carcinogen SDA, who runs a lot of horror games, speed runs them, is like, this game is just dark. We can brighten it all day, but then it'll wash out things and everything. But in the earlier parts of the game is just dark. There's no getting around it.
Makes it even spookier. So
yes, exactly. And that's the thing, is that you quite literally can run around with the lighter still on to brighten things up. But of course, having a lighter out means you can't fight back.
Right.
Yeah. So that really adds to the atmosphere.
You were getting RNG'd by those damn dogs and other shit that I had never seen before in this game. Is bullcrap. But
yeah. So that's the thing with Code Veronica. It has a lot of things that may seem kind of unfair, like the RNG element to it. Like the dogs can just completely mess up your day. You can have zombies that will go quote unquote turbo. Like they just normally shamble towards you at a normal shambling speed. Then all of a sudden they just hit the afterburners and just bite you out of nowhere. It's like, what the hell? Excuse me. But thankfully, with everything with Code Veronica, you don't have to worry about zombies coming back to life like in the remake. So it's a lot more manageable in that particular way. But I will
Gotcha.
say they take, on average, a lot more bullets than like the other Resident Evil games. So if you're not too skilled and you decide you want to blast everything, you're going to be in for a rough time. But if you know the lines or know just how to avoid them, it's a cakewalk.
Bullets.
Thankfully,
it's been the Code Veronica minute. Thank you.
Yeah. Thankfully, not everything poisons you in that game. Unlike Resident Evil 3, dear God.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad
Resident
they
Evil
did
2, everything
away with
you.
poison, sort of. I think in that one, or it was way later. I forget.
Resident Evil 4 was my first Resident Evil. So I'm that generation.
Sit back down. Sit back down. Good job.
You got in a good time to get introduced to like the newer flavors of Resident Evil, but I still like the classic ones myself.
I think this weekend involved Code Veronica in people's lives more than it has in decades between the Galloping Ghost light gun game and this part of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it reminded me like when TJ and I were T-Bone and I were the first ones to land in the airport, and I didn't realize until we were talking. Like, I don't really have anyone physically near me to ever discuss Resident Evil with, and we just went off for 2 hours. We killed 2 hours talking about that, and I just remembered like I do need to play through Code Veronica again because I did that once, and it's one of the longer ones that if you're playing leisurely, it's easy to take longer than you need to.
October's coming up.
It's not the most. I'm not so good at it that I'd be able to stream it. Like I don't know, but
stream it. Have a good time with it.
I'd want to find my VMU, which means going through 13 of them to find the one with an unlock, because I'd probably want to go through with like an infinite ammo thing too.
Yeah, you might have a problem. That's a lot of VMUs.
I've only, I think, legit purchased 3 or 4.
Can't you consolidate them all? Like, till I'd be like, all right, these are completely empty. These are all the... Oh, you can't?
It's not that easy. Some files you can't even... Like, I learned with recent conventions, you can't copy a fucking Soul Calibur file. So I had to do a hot swap with that to actually save all characters on another VMU. It's weird. This is not what we're here for right now. But...
Dreamcast related.
Yeah, a short version of what I'm trying to say is I got to play Code Veronica again. But that was good. So, started strong with the Witching Hour and then fucking plummeted it into the ground with Quake 3 Arena and Kiss Psycho Circus. Fuck those games. Well,
yeah,
fuck
those were pretty bad. We played Quake, and then didn't we also play Unreal because we wanted to change it up?
I think we went on Unreal afterwards.
Oh, we did Quake, and you guys were pissing and moaning, and so I played Kiss. Okay,
so Scotty's good at Quake, and he's good at Unreal Tournament, and he wipes the floor with us, and it's not fun sometimes. It's like playing fighting games with Anti-Chris.
It's because it's like there's no second stick, and you have to use the face buttons to look and move and crap.
The PC version is a lot better.
Well, yeah, sure. But also, if you plug in a mouse and a keyboard, you could play some Quake a lot better. But Unreal
that's only like $120 probably to buy those two things for the Dreamcast.
I don't know. Very true. Kiss Psycho Circus sucks.
That's a bad game.
It is. Speaking of dark games, like we could not see most of what was happening in that game, and then it was just a lot of fun to see him try to punch, because it looks like you're a person running in VR now.
Did you audible to another game?
Yeah, that was when we switched over to Unreal, because I was like, guys, this isn't... I told you this was going to be a bad game, but here we are.
He was 5 minutes in, and Brittany was like, I've got what I wanted. Like, and Scotty was like, all right, we're switching games. So...
I tried to, like... I wish, like, TJ, you could have spoken up, because I think you were the only person that watched me stream some of that game for, like, 2 hours one night, and I was just like, well, this is a shooter, and there's no character behind this. Like, it looks like every other thing that was sort of medieval, but not really, but it was dark, and you had weapons. I don't know.
Gross.
We played Unreal Tournament for a hot second, and then switched over Vigilante 8 Second Offense.
That's always fun. Kinda. Chris didn't like it.
Hit middle.
I really like car combat games, and it makes sense that we've evolved beyond those, because shooters are just more accurate.
Everyone left me at one point at the beginning of the Vigilante half hour. I was like, everybody left me. Welcome to Vigilante 8. Let's go.
Yeah. I think I might have walked away to just get away, just wash the taste of kiss out of my mouth or something. I don't know.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. But I mean, that's fun. That game's fun and goofy and wonky and broken, and I could play Vigilante 8 forever. That's one that like you could actually level up the characters, and I've leveled up like half of the fucking cars in that game because it was just oh man, too much.
I'm going to speak for Chris. I don't think he's very big into car combat games, so I don't think he was. Thankfully, he was hosting with me, which was great. But
I eventually jumped in. We did some 3-player, I think. Maybe
can't remember. So
yeah, that game's super glitchy though. Corey and I have tried to do the co-op campaign. It's just broken in some areas. Like the AI is so stupid that it prevents us from winning in certain ways.
Yeah, or it's overpowered.
Yeah. But following that was Death Crimson OX, a weird ass light gun game. Finally got to sort of play with the light guns.
This is the part where I thought we hear TJ grunting and he's moving something and he's moving the CRT because he actually had it to where we could hook it up and like run it through the retro. I think it was through the retro Tink, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Review the stream because it's basically the equivalent of Chris Redfield punching a boulder across lava.
Yeah, we were like, TJ, you need help? He's like,
I'm fine.
I got it. Leave it alone.
Yeah,
that's a game.
But I actually wish we would have done like House of the Dead 2 rather than Death Crimson OX. But Death Crimson OX by itself is a fine game, mediocre. Has some different mechanics in it. Unfortunately, my light guns weren't working up to par as I had thought. I thought I had at least one good one, and it turns out that it is failing. So I'm gonna have to put in my search next to my convention to look for more light guns. So.
That's the only
They're
place.
fun.
Well,
I do it.
I've definitely seen light guns at cons more than I have shops.
Yes.
But yeah, that was another, like, speaking of like gathering VMUs and whatever, that's how I got a jump pack, which is the rumble pack for Dreamcast. It was just shoved into a light gun that I bought at Too Many Games one year. They didn't know what they were selling me. Yep. So
has there been like a Retro Fighters light gun come out? Someone's got to be in the development of making a new light gun, right?
Oh, yes, there are. There's one by Sestrin. That's an HD.
That name sounds familiar. Is that someone that's in our chat?
Might be that also, but no, they're working on stuff for the Polymega, but it's $100 light gun for HD TVs. And then there's another one that requires like internal programming and stuff that you have to load up software and things to mess with it to let it read. Again, we could do another show about this stuff, but
this is an episode.
Yeah. So I love light guns, light gun games. I was happy we had that in there for a second. And then again, on the roller coaster that is this list, we had a lot of fun, and then fucking lighted on fire by playing Fur Fighters.
Yep.
I left the room. I think I went back to sleep. I went to sleep. Maybe. I was like, yeah, I had to get a little bit of sleep for it because I remember Scotty. He's like, video games when it was like Soul Calibur time. No, it's Virtual Fighters.
I walked away at this point because I was like, yeah, I'm not a Fur Fighters fan, so.
Yeah, Fur Fighters.
The stature behind it say it's different. Heyo.
You shut your face.
Fur Fighters is by default third person. It's one of those things where it's like Happy Tree Friends. They try to take a cutesy thing and make it violent.
Conquer.
Yeah, not as much as Conquer shoves it in your face, but it's kind of that area. But it is easier, in my opinion, to play in first person view. The multiplayer is rough, and there's like very little variety. This was another
next year again. So
this was this is a showing of the times where they're like, oh, this console has 4 controller slots. We have to put in 4-player. Because the single player I played through a decent amount. It's not that bad because you have different animals that have different abilities to get through certain areas and stuff, and it's not that bad of a game when you can take your time. I think that's the problem, is it's a frenetic shooter that does not have 2 sticks on the controller, so you're not as able to play it how you would want to.
Right.
And now
that's Fur Fighters.
If it took took some points from GoldenEye, because GoldenEye actually did have a bit of an auto aim when it came to it, rather than how it's just you have to look and hopefully your crosshair lines up to where you can get a hit. You actually would see the gun kind of gravitate towards at least the body of the character that you're shooting.
Yep.
If fur fighters in that particular sense would have taken some cues from GoldenEye, I think it'd have been a little bit more serviceable. But
I don't like fur fighters.
That's okay.
yeah, you're not the only one. I don't like fur fighters either. But I think with just that little quality of life change, it could be tolerable.
Right.
What I thought was funny one year, the first time AJ played it, he dug it, and he was also kicking ass. But he plays shooters like all the time, so it's kind of funny that he actually enjoyed Fur Fighters because it's busted like comparably to modern shooters and stuff. But he enjoyed it, so fuck you guys. I'll just play it with AJ.
Sorry.
Whoa,
That's it.
My bad. I couldn't hold it back. I think you can keep it though.
Yeah. Typing of the Dead after that.
Typing of the Dead was fun. It's always a good time playing that. I'm not
That's
quite a
when
touch typist.
I knew I had to take a nap, unfortunately, because I was falling asleep while actively typing words.
Wow.
So
I'm ready to review that VOD. So
yeah, that'll be fun. Just
it's like your normal job. No.
hey, and so I took a nap. I learned this year though I should take, if I'm going to take a nap, it has to be earlier in the marathon, because then as a result of that I woke up for virtual tennis, which is the hour before Soul Calibur. So I was like 2 awake by the time we were done because I had just had a power nap. So
oh yeah,
like maybe during the fighting games I'll pass out or something.
Yeah, because as soon as we were done, I passed out within 10 minutes. Like
I did.
Yeah,
not.
you guys were done because it was T-Bone and I that were playing Cannon Spike and
Yes.
Dynamite Cop.
Which Cannon Spike, oh my god, Mega Man is busted.
Yes.
Oh,
Dear
nice.
God.
Well, Mega Man has the Buster. Is that what you meant to say?
No. Well, he definitely has a buster.
Shut up, Corey.
You should shut up.
His heavy melee attack, which is Tornado Hold or something like that, it just demolishes things. Just get right into a group and just pound the ground, make tornadoes and destruction.
It's over. It's over.
Yes.
DK.
It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground.
Oh.
Did Dynamite Cop work? Did you guys play Dynamite Cop? I think that was the first of the Naomi block, right?
No, we played the Dreamcast version of Dynamite Cop first before we got to the Naomi. So no issues there. T-Bone played through it.
Dynamite Cop's great.
It's a 20-minute game, so
yeah,
perfect for a marathon.
Yeah, I got up to like the last stage of the game, if you would, but I died. I want to say when you're in the hut with the voodoo people.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
Sorry, that sentence got me.
Yeah, it just hit way out left.
In the hut with the voodoo people. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I got up to there, and that's when I died, unfortunately. But that was at a perfect time to where it's like, okay, can start setting up for something else.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the games. Dynamite Cop Illbleed was the first game for the first marathon that I was like, I need to have this game. And then Dynamite Cop was the second one for the second year. What was the one last year? What did I have to have? Oh, it was Choo Choo Rocket. Yeah. So
that we also played after you left, Corey. Sorry. Yeah. Everybody hated it except for me. So I wish you were still there because you could have backed me up on it.
Choo Choo Rocket's fun. You gotta have someone that's making it fun. So
maybe not the best post marathon game, to be honest.
Choo Choo Rocket, I like the game. It's just that I think I was just so out of it to like really comprehend. I was just kind of
It's really good at 4 o'clock in the morning during the marathon. It's really it wakes you. It's like because Mouse Mania, like this.
Yeah,
that's going on a t-shirt.
I really do like. Not just because it was Yuji Naka and like the first online game technically for Dreamcast. I dig the single player because it is a very good. It's a puzzle
I like that
game,
we're talking about a game we didn't play on the marathon.
Yeah. It's a puzzle game that's challenging, but not to the point of you feel like an idiot if you can't get them.
Yeah.
But still, you do have those aha moments during it. But I very much recommend Choo Choo Rocket because there's been copycats out there, no pun intended. But it's still quality stuff, and you could always make your own levels too, which is the Game Boy version you have, Corey, has like 200 user made levels in it or something.
I played I had my Steam Deck on the way to Chicago, and I played a little bit of Choo Choo Rocket in the airport. So,
oh, nice!
It was fun. I played the Game Boy Advance version. That game's fun. It's just solid.
Yeah, very much. So then Dolphin Blue happened, sort of, right?
Sort of. We had
Yeah.
some technical difficulties. That's kind of when OBS decided to crap out, and I think it was because of us changing the adapters for it because it runs VGA rather than the composite cables that the Dreamcast was doing. So we had funny colors, and then we reset the OBS, and the colors came back, but we still had no sound, and I couldn't figure out exactly what was causing it.
I
think
can't
it was
wait for
the
this
adapter.
hour.
Yeah, it was kind of abysmal. I was really hoping it would have gone better because I was like, well, let's change it up a little bit, and I was hoping Scotty would have been around to play some Dolphin Blue, but he was still out during that time.
I had to take a break. Yeah.
I mean,
if he would have been awake, his anxiety would have went through the roof if that happened. So I'm glad he was asleep.
I probably would have just fallen asleep with my eyes open at that point or something on camera.
Shell shocked.
Yeah.
So T-Bone and I were kind of stuck, like flipping around with some of the different games. Ikaruga did not happen because it was in Tate mode or sideways, so we couldn't get it to be horizontally.
Right.
Gotcha.
So that didn't work out very well. And at that point, I was like, well, we'll play a little Dolphin Blue. People can at least see it. They just won't hear it. And then after that, I kind of gave up, and it's okay. We're gonna switch back to the Dreamcast at that point. So I'm gonna have to look for a new adapter to maybe get something a little more solid that will pull that sound through, because the sound was working because we had tested it beforehand and we had it working through my sound system, but it wasn't transferring over to the Elgato.
So I'll get the Dolphin Blue soundtrack and just play it underneath that hour when I edit it.
There you go.
There you go.
That it works. That's interesting. I mean, this all sounds very familiar because a lot of the marathon is the weekend of troubleshooting for the host. So yeah.
I wasn't going to spend time on it, so.
Right, not worth it.
You should have just busted in like Kramer, like, Scotty, like just everything's burned and everything's on fire.
Put the mask on and get out there.
Left.
Stretch for time. Yeah.
Stretch for time.
Yeah. But after that Virtua Tennis, we decided, I don't know why we haven't done this previously. When we learned that the fishing rod controller works with it, we had team fishing rod versus team controllers, and like one rod per team at some points, which was a lot. I think that's the way we got to do it in the future.
Yeah,
I like that game on controller a lot more than I like it on fishing rod.
Yeah.
What'd you say? You broke like half of what you said broke up. What'd you say, Corey?
Oh, I said I like that game on controller way more than I like it on fishing rod.
Yeah. Right.
I had the unfortunate, dubious task of using two fishing rods to try to play against. What was it? Scotty and Chris.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, I managed to actually get one serve off. And I was just like, I could do it. Okay, let me see if I can get another.
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
Team Scrubverse defended its title of nothing. So as
Rising
we like
from the ashes. Yeah.
That's right. Just like a phoenix.
Mm-hmm. Virtua Tennis. That's supposed to get us primed up for Soul Calibur, which we did try it also with the keyboard for the shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Sort of.
T-Bone started getting good at it on the keyboard, which concerned me. So
yeah, well, he was honing in. He had the focus that I remember seeing for Anti-Chris when he learned that the rod works with that at too many games, because he was trying to you could see the fucking long algebra meme going over his face at too many games, and then this was happening for T-Bone with the keyboard. Just like I will crack this code,
right?
Yeah, it's I actually like everyone was saying, is like I was getting better at it, but the unfortunate thing was, it's like, well, I don't really have a guard, so
here we go.
This is gonna be fun.
Yeah,
super aggressive. I mean, it's Pole Caliber is always Pole Caliber. It's always dope.
Yeah.
So
the Raptor fighting Lizard Man versus Lizard Man.
The Raptor.
Lizard Man. So that was good. That's how we ended.
For your touch.
Yeah, got to end it strong. Light everything on fire. We sort of glossed over the redeemable games. Power Stone 2, we did that for like a hot 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, T-Bone beat my ass. So
yeah,
it's an okay game. I think I'm just tired of Power Stone.
The guys that I play WoW with, they popped in. I let them know. They're like, hey, when you playing Power Stone 2? And I was like, around here. They're like, we'll pop in. So a couple of them popped in and lurked for a little bit. They told me when we raided last. So
okay, cool.
It's just one of those things. I understand that the Power Stone 2 is kind of wearing on you, Scotty. It's just one of those things, one of those marquee games for the Dreamcast where it's like it's kind of doing the system injustice if you don't have Power Stone, either one or two in there.
We got away with no Jet Set, so I was okay with that.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Nobody needs to know.
It's tough. All right,
cool.
it's tough.
Just be cool.
Just be cool. We'll play Future. It's all right. Everybody, shut up.
Man. But then also the final unlockable was the Shenmue 2 Duck Race. I was not going to let Marcin leave without experiencing that.
Yeah.
Because he is like the Shenmue fan of the staff, and
we got a good clip out of that.
Oh my gosh, that game! It was just half an hour of that ridiculous duck race.
That's all you need.
Yeah, it was fun. We had some controller difficulties at one point, but once we got going in there,
well, TJ has the files now, so for that save file, so we're good to go next year.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was fun, and it was such a weird thing. I'm still not entirely sure how it works, like in terms of the stamina and holding down a button or rhythmically hitting a button or what. But it was still a good time, and check out the clips. I won't say whether we won or lost because everybody's a winner with those.
That's
ducks.
what losers say.
That's
what someone that was robbed of first says.
Okay, so fuck it, because we totally were. Because we were at the finish line, Marcin was playing.
It was 20th of a second that you lost by.
Just slowly getting through, and then that fucking mallard comes in, just like fuck you, and yeah.
Hey yo, VTech just kicked in.
Yeah,
right.
But it was great because you see Corey just like what if the couch wasn't bolted down, you probably would have flipped the couch, and TJ's friend Matt was there who was just like, and just like
it was great.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was a good
chat clip that one, I believe. So
yep, there was a clip somewhere of it.
Yeah.
Shout outs to everyone that was clipping or modding and just hanging out and chatting. And getting the giveaways. I wanted to make sure before I forget, shout out to Sega for giving us a shit ton of codes for a bunch of Sega games on Steam that we gave away.
Yep.
So
thank you, Danny.
We still got some that we're gonna use on other charity stuff too. So
yeah. There's still, we ended up raising $1,703, so $1,703. Our goal was $2,000, and we still got plenty of time to hit that.
November
we did
20th?
Do just the end of the year, technically.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
But we'll still do something for Extra Life Day. Not sure about all that stuff, but you can always donate. I'll put that link in the descriptions for all these things as well. But a lot of cool people were able to donate. If you're not able to, that's fine. We still just appreciate maybe sharing the link or whatever, let other people know about it. It was a good marathon overall. It was a good weekend overall. I was happy to not host. I think TJ was happy to host.
I'm gonna make sure to have more time. I unfortunately had to fly out a day earlier due to work. So it would have been nice to have that full Sunday to recuperate and hang out and possibly even record this. So
yeah. I would definitely suggest that we at least have a day where we just kind of hang out a little bit more afterwards. But
maybe even get on a Wednesday instead of a Thursday, which might be tougher for some of us. But
yeah, for sure. I don't know where work lies for me next time, but if things go around, I can always adjust.
Yeah,
I think from this, I want to pick up the Razor game. That's
oh god, do you really want to pick that up?
It was stupid. Like, that's something Rachel and I could play, like hand off the controller.
Well, it's like that Disney Racer game too.
Yeah.
So I picked up Flea, I picked up Tapeworm, and then I'm gonna try and pick up NBA Showtime. That's the one with the guy that's like with the ball on fire, right?
I think it's Shaq on the cover because I remember it's a Lakers jersey.
Okay.
Yep, Shaq with the Lakers.
All right, I'll be on the lookout for that then. So
yeah, that cover.
I will say after you guys left, I was kind of cleaning up. Thankfully, you guys helped out cleaning up what was in the living room and getting all that sorted out. But there was
I tried to leave the room I was in nice for you. I hope
you did
just shit on the walls and left it like
oh, fuck this place. See ya, sucker.
Well, Scotty and I are idiots. I forgot at the beginning when we first got there, TJ tells us, hey, I got a Sonic Adventure 2 battle standee that we could use. And we just didn't say anything. And then after the marathon, I was like, hey, Scotty, look at this. He's like, we could have used that during the marathon.
I thought it was only like the top kind of the characters facing each other thing, but I didn't realize the
emblem,
whole stand-up.
We could have plastered that on the wall, even if it was just the emblem.
It was the full stand-up, just like that Sonic Heroes one that people are seeing right now in the picture.
Yeah, the one above
that
Scotty.
same size. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I did
Sonic
find...
Heroes.
So cleaning up, I got a couple items here. So there was the Scotch tape that was used for the lamp.
No, I wasn't going to take that with me.
The Scott tape.
Yeah, the Scott tape. And then I also have some snack mix from Southwest Airlines.
That's Chris.
That was sitting on top of one of your fucking shelves.
Chris emptied his pockets on top of your speaker or whatever.
Somebody left some crust.
That's
toothpaste.
not mine.
Crust.
I don't.
Crust
That's not mine.
That might be Chris's.
There was some shaving gel left behind.
That was also Chris's.
Corey, you left behind your...
Oh, shit. That's a vice.
I left the bottom of my mic arm, so I'm going to need that.
And then the most unusual item that I believe got left behind, and Corey, I believe this is yours too, because nobody else claimed it.
That is not mine. That's not mine. I don't even know what that is. What is
it?
Face
small face round. It just looks like a straight up test tube. It looks like wait. I thought it was a part of a paintball gun.
What is it?
I thought it was maybe a vape pen container.
Well, it was a brush.
It's missing the front
brush.
The front brush or whatever broke off.
So it's missing the top part where it actually has the bristles. That's just the handle.
This is just the handle.
Oh, I don't know then.
Yeah,
Scotty thought it was my butt plug. So,
but those are the interesting things that I found so far. Aside from like my shower in the bathroom was full of like 2 loofahs, a hand scrubber.
I left one. I left the hand scrubber one. Yeah,
I grabbed my loofah.
You grabbed your loofah, so there's 2 left and then a bar soap.
Anti-Chris knocked the shower curtain over. We just hear, God damn it! T-Bone clogged the toilet.
No! I did not clog the toilet.
I was half awake. I heard, "Oh no!" from T-Bone.
It's like I had flushed the toilet, and all of a sudden it was like, "Oh, this is not oh no, this is not going down at all." And I didn't clog the toilet. It was I just made a little water. That's all I did.
Scotty and I had a discussion where Scotty was like, "Yeah, your toilet you can't use a lot of toilet paper in it." I was just like, use less toilet paper because it's thick toilet paper. He's like, nope, got to use the same amount.
I just said, what? Oh my God, we really gonna talk about this?
I remember you saying you were like, buy less thick toilet paper.
Yeah, just use thinner toilet paper because whether or not you use a lot of the thick stuff that you have, it's gonna maybe clog it more than your own shit. That was it.
I'm not using Scott. I'm not that broke anymore to use Scott.
Well, yeah, you could get Scott toilet paper also.
The
Scott
one
tape,
ply
Scott toilet paper.
Yeah. Well, no, I bought. Oh, yeah. I mean, if we want to talk about how I like redneck rigged the lamp on the thing because I left a lampshade for TJ and some tape and some other stuff because I'm used to having to do that crap between unboxings and stream setups and whatever.
There's sometimes I look at the way Scotty sets stuff up and I'm like, Scotty, you could just buy something that does that. You don't have to tape it and put a binder around it and all this other stuff.
Never.
I have to give him
fun times
for ingenuity. So
that's one thing.
I think we learned maybe one more mic to get more of a room sound. Probably
in the beginning, a lot of people weren't talking into mics, so that was a rough part too.
I was used to the setup that we have where it's a room setting and we don't have to be right next to it. We weren't really doing that.
It sounded better when people started talking into the mics, though. But yeah, having even lapel mics too. Because there's sometimes you can't really hear what I'm saying in the background, and I talk loud. So
you were dead set on just screaming everything and hoping for the best that people heard you from the kitchen table.
The things I wanted to get across, they heard. So
So yeah, mic set up for next year definitely something we'll have to
extra monitor. We need continuous. We need one with just chat on it.
Yeah. Apologies if we missed any conversations you guys were trying to have with us. But we know for next time.
You already know I don't think I'm leaving my job anytime soon, so just get a parts list together and I can see about making things happen.
Right.
We did make a run to El Besto Bio. So
it wouldn't be a marathon if we didn't have to like grab apart day before or something. So
Very true.
golly, there was
We made it work.
boy.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember there was a year where we needed like like one more USB cable or something. So Brett and I hoofed it to a Best Buy, which is not even there anymore. That was like the next year it was closed down or something. So we shut her down.
Wow.
But
Shut that and the
yeah.
Family Dollar down, or the Dollar General.
Yeah, Dollar
Right.
General's gone now. Yep, that's
Yeah,
that's
boy.
what we do here. That's what we do. Any like parting thoughts or any other things from the marathon you guys want to mention, or the trip overall?
I thought it went over pretty well. I didn't think there was a lot of anxiety to get things going. It was we had a good time before and after, and yeah, I enjoyed having you
More
guys
bro
over.
time. More bro time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because the marathon we're working is what it is. Like we are, like when it comes down to it, we're having people are like, "Are you playing video?" There's a lot of work that goes into this marathon, so mentally and physically. So anything outside of it is the fun part.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, T-Bone. Sorry.
Yeah, for me, it's just being able to just fart around, see a couple of extra things I normally don't
Literally.
see, and not to mention snagging that little diamond that I have over there, the Mega Man X collection.
You're really
hell
excited
yeah.
about that, man. It's
Yeah,
good.
man, dude. I don't have to worry about loading up an emulator to play that game now. Hell yeah.
There you go. Heck yeah. I give it
Yeah.
a A-. So
The marathon or
Okay,
that
so what's your
collection?
criteria for A plus then?
no, I was just trying to make a joke. Thank you for
Your joke wasn't very good.
I know the first rule of improv is to not shut the person down.
Yeah.
Yeah, more duck race next year. That's it. That's all.
Just an hour.
Yep. No,
The
I
only
think
other thing I can-
we've.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead because I'm gonna close her out probably here.
I'm getting
Yeah,
sweaty. So
Oh, of course. There's the only thing I could possibly think of is maybe, uh, like with our game selection, staples, of course, but probably some more. I wouldn't say loaded up with like all the weird obscure games, but definitely bring out some more of the quirky ones every now and again. That would probably be pretty interesting.
we're gonna play Mr. Bones. I don't care if it's not on the same system.
I think
We've
that
got
was part of the
ideas.
I think that was part of the discussion afterwards. Is maybe we need to start breaking out into some other Sega games. So that may be in
Yes.
our future at some point.
We gotta have a
Yeah.
Dreamcast Avengers. They gotta assemble. So
There you go.
Yeah, well, we've got ideas. We had our our post show discussion, our own feedback discussion and everything at wherever that bar and grill thing was with the good nachos. and the-
Rascals, yes.
and the-
Rascals.
yeah.
Which Corey missed, unfortunately. That was our.
I
our
had more
lunch
Chicago style
afterwards.
pizza in the airport. So
Didn't
Oh, I'm
miss a
sorry.
whole lot. The nachos were great. The rest of the food was subpar in my opinion.
I had a personal
Yeah.
size pan Chicago style pizza.
I'm sorry.
That was. What do you mean? It was great.
At the airport? Are you
Yeah.
sure?
It wasn't bad.
Oh,
It was
Where'd you
also
get it
free.
from?
So,
you-
it was like right next to. I don't know. It was right next to a little restaurant, or like it was right next to a big restaurant. It was like 3 people running the booth. It wasn't. It was
Oh.
a franchise, but I don't know. It was good.
It
I
wasn't
enjoyed
okay.
it.
It wasn't like Illuminati's or anything, was it?
Maybe.
I thought he was gonna say I thought he was gonna say, guys, you got to check out this place called Sabaro.
Oh my
Guys,
god.
Hut of the Pizza. Have you heard about it? So,
Uh-huh.
No.
Let me tell you.
it's pretty good.
No, but yeah, it was great overall. It was a good weekend overall. Nice to get away, and not nearly as stressful, at least on in my opinion, as some of them have been. Raised
Everyone
some
got
money,
there
did it all for a
safely.
good cause. Got to meet some people, hang out with people. Ate some good food. Met TJ's mom, and saw some Chicago type.
I never officially
areas.
met Matt, but if you're watching this, hello. So
Yeah, the Mega
Yeah,
Man.
he got
fans
pulled away.
didn't get to
Unfortunately, he wanted to stick around longer, but couldn't because some personal things. So
Yeah,
no
next
problem.
time.
We'll
Next
meet up
time.
again next time.
Much
so.
sad.
So yeah, before we go though, just gonna let everybody know, hit up that Patreon, patreon.com/megavisions to keep up with the next physical issue that we do. We are a physical magazine, believe it or not, and we do that. So hit that up on the Patreon, and we're always streaming. We got a website, megavisions.net, among other things. hit up all the different links in the description of this episode because you can still donate to Extra Life to help out. We'll still have plenty of streams going on. We'll go around if people want to plug anything for themselves. So, TJ, did you have anything coming up you want to promote?
Not particularly. You can catch me on Monday nights streaming on Megavisions. I usually do a lot of retro stuff and some oddball stuff. And you can find me on the Twitter, TJ Kitsune.
Yeah, we've all got our Twitter handles below our names, or below our names. Yep, below our cameras
for the audio listeners. So
yeah,
yeah.
So yeah, nice. Corey, do you have anything coming up?
I got stuffs in the works, but you guys should go check out Static Zone Podcast. It's the podcast I do with Scotty. It's a movie review podcast. It's just a good old dang time, and we're
Hack the planet.
T-Bone's been watching or listening to our episodes, so
Nice.
Go follow that on social medias. I think we could throw Linktree, or go find it on mine. I'm at Tornado Jones on Twitter. You'll find the link.
I'll throw our Linktree in the description. Fuck it.
Yeah,
control
there you
here
go.
Today.
And then over on Twitch, gonna start some streams up here soon. Got some ideas over at megavisions.com megavisions.tv/tornado_Jones. So there you go.
Twitch.tv? Is that what you were trying to say?
Yeah, what did I say?
You said megavisions.tv.
Oh, my bad. It's twitch.tv. Just find me on Twitch. Fuck it. So
Corey.partypizza/
No.
Anyway, T-Bone, you got anything to plug?
Nothing really. I mean, of course, as you, I'm pretty sure the links for my Twitter is going to be on there. My DMs are usually open. Just don't do any sort of that spam stuff.
Just tell people to play more Code Veronica.
Yes, play more Code Veronica, please. And also too, I try to stream, but things have been kind of difficult for me.
What's your Twitch channel?
Twitch channel is twitch.tv/Tbone2886.
There you go.
You can feel free to follow me, but I mean, as far as for anything until I'm working dayside again, I'm likely not going to be streaming.
You're gonna get there.
Yeah,
and everyone's gonna follow you now.
Yeah. When I get there, then yeah, just if you follow me on Twitter, you'll be the first to know.
Cool.
Right on. And I have been in the hut with the voodoo people. Please follow me. All of our...
You should not make that a thing you say normally.
Yeah, that's a final time. But no, Corey and I do the Static Zone.
Voodoo on me, Scotty.
Well, you're the closest to the voodoo capital of the nation, so
you can still do the voodoo from far away.
Wrap it up. Let's wrap it up.
I'm trying.
Shut up, T-Bone.
This has been the Megavisions podcast show, Megavision show podcast marathon. We did it. Thanks, guys. I don't know if I'll ever stream again. Maybe I'll do some stuff on Extra Life Day. I've been Scotty Mo, and we don't really have a closer to this, so if you get a little bit of static, just don't touch that dial. All right, great. Thanks, everybody. We love you. Good night.
It's like 85 degrees in here, man. I gotta turn the air on.
Honey, I gotta tell you about this sandwich.